At the time of making this video, it's December 2023, and in the spirit of giving, here are 10 tips to avoid burnout as a therapist. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Therapy Business School. My name is James Taylor. I'm an online counsellor, hypnotherapist, life coach, hypnotherapy supervisor. I'm also a podcaster, an author and a YouTuber. So burnouts for therapists, very common, more common than you think. And it can be avoided, and it should be avoided, because if you go down, you can't help the people who you want to help because you're not well. All right. So here are 10 tips in no particular order, and there's going to be a little gift at the end. So stick around for that one. So let's get into number one. Now, number one is to develop a self-care routine for yourself. And I'll be honest, this is one that I never used to do. So one of these things, the self-care routine, could be taking time off for you to do something for you, not to do something for someone else. So it's something just specifically for you. And I remember a friend of mine saying to me, when was the last time you had a day off? And I said, oh, it was only the other day. It was, and I realised I was babbling, because it had been about 3 months since I'd had a day off. Too much. And I was definitely burning the candle at both ends. So now I insist that I take regular days off, and I put that in my diary, and it's scheduled, and it's an important event, or I should say it's as important to me as it is a client appointment. Now, I'm just going to dive off to a little story here called The Trouble Tree. Okay. Now, the way the Trouble Tree story goes, there's a builder working on this woman's house, and he says goodbye for the day, and as he leaves, he's knocking on the front door a few minutes later, and the lady says, I thought you were gone for the day. He said, so did I. He said, I've got a flat tyre on my van, and I haven't got the spare tyre with me. He said, I know this is a bit embarrassing, and it's a bit of a liberty. Is there any chance you could run me home? Because if I ask my wife to leave and bring me the spare tyre, she's going to have to bring the kids with her. He said, it's going to cause chaos. He said, so can you drop me off home, and tomorrow I'll get my wife to drop me off in the morning, and I'll have the spare tyre with me. Would that be okay? Well, the woman agrees to this. So she drops the builder off home, and he says, look, come in and have a cup of tea. My wife's going to want to thank you because you really have helped me out here. So she agrees. And as they're walking up the builder's path to his front door, he says, just give us a second. And he goes over to a tree that's in his garden. And the woman stays on the path, and she's watching the builder. And it looks like he's stroking the branches or touching the leaves. And she's thinking, this is quite bizarre behaviour. What's he doing? He's there for about 2 or 3 minutes. And then he comes back, he says, okay, I'm ready now. And they go in the house, and she meets the builder's wife and has a cup of tea, meets the kids. And as she's leaving, she says to the builder, I've got to ask, what were you doing with that tree in your garden? And the builder said, oh, yeah, I could see why that might be a bit strange. He said, that's my trouble tree. And she says, I don't know, what do you mean, your trouble tree? And he said, well, I get stressed like everyone else does. And everyone who's important to me in my life is under this roof. And it's not fair that I bring outside stressors into my home. So what I do is, before I walk in through the front door, I go over to my trouble tree, and I mentally hang my troubles on the tree. And when I feel I'm unburdened from them, then I'll go into my home and I'll enjoy my family. And the woman says, wow, that's wonderful. I've never heard that before. And the builder says, it gets even better than that. When I get up in the morning to go to work and I go back over to my trouble tree, there is not as many things on the tree as were there the night before. All right. So self-care is a huge one, and I would strongly encourage you get a trouble tree in your life. So that is number one. Number two, make sure that you do have your supervision, and you do discuss and offload in the appropriate settings, whether that's in your personal counselling or whether that's in supervision. It's too much, and this is linked a little bit to the trouble tree from number one, but this is really important that you don't carry the entire burden all the time. So make use of your supervision and your counselling. And also as well, associate with your peers. That doesn't mean you talk job. It means you might just spend time with each other, make friends with each other, spend time doing things together that has nothing to do with client work. So it's a total disassociation. That part of your life is there, and in your time off, you're doing this either alone or with other people who are in the same industry, and you're doing something completely different. So important. So that is number 2. Number 3, make sure your caseload is manageable. Now, you might have to juggle this a little bit with your caseload versus your income, and it might be a case of your income has to go up so your caseload can go down. And this might be an idea to think about. We're going into the new year. Are my prices going to stay the same, or is there going to be an increase in price? And if so, how am I going to deliver that news to my clients? But it's a must. You must manage your caseload, because otherwise that's another way for burnout. So that is number 3. Number 4, continue your education. I love learning new things, and I think I always will until I fall off my perch, because I always have. So continue your education in what you do, and that can help you know that you're getting better at your end, which means you can provide a better service for your clients. So pick something that is really beneficial. Even watching this video is a form of education in a way, because it's giving you tips to avoid burnout. Right? So continue the education and enjoy doing it, and know with each page that you turn of a book, or with everything you watch or anything you learn, you're getting better, which means your clients will get a better version of you, which can only be a good thing. So that's that one. Number 5, all around boundary setting. Set boundaries what hours you're going to work and what hours you're not. Give yourself a cut-off time when, okay, this is where I go up to, and after that, I'm not a therapist anymore. I'm just me doing my own thing, and I have my own life. This is really important. So a thing that might be beneficial to you is to set an alarm either on your phone or on a device of yours, and say you're finishing at 6 o'clock. Well, it might be an idea where, and you're doing your case notes or whatever it might be an idea that the alarm goes off at 5:30, because then I've got 30 minutes to finish off what I need to do, because then the books are closed and I'm stopping for the day. All right, so setting boundaries, big one. Number 6, take breaks throughout your working day. Don't go back to back with clients. Make sure that you have got the time, and it's more than just a toilet break. There's more time. Sometimes I've done back to back, and you're juggling, and you sort of like literally finish with one client, and you've got to stop there and start with another one. And it's not ideally the best way to be. So take breaks throughout the day. Stand up, stretch, move around, look out the window. I've just bought some bird feeders for the garden, and I've got to be honest, the squirrels are going through the big ball feeds quicker than the birds are. But it's so nice to have a break from a client, to be looking out the window with a cup of tea, because I'm a big tea drinker, and just enjoying the garden and seeing what birds are coming into the garden, and how the squirrels are getting a bit territorial over the bird feeder. So little breaks throughout the day just makes a big difference to recharge that little bit, again, to avoid burnout. So that's that one. Number 7 is about delegation. Delegate when possible. So this may be delegating to a person, or it might be delegation in the form of, there's a software that you got that takes care of some things for you, so you don't have to do it. So you're not the one spinning all the plates of your business. There's different things that can help you. And delegation is a huge one. I will delegate whenever I can. And sometimes if I'm delegating to a person, it's because they like doing that kind of task, but I don't like doing that kind of task myself. So it makes sense to give the task that I don't like to someone else, and they like that thing, and I will pay for that service. So delegate out when you can. That's a big one. That's number 7. Number 8, practice mindfulness. Now this is a fantastic thing to do. You don't have to be sitting on a mountaintop on a loincloth to be able to do this. Just practice some mindfulness. You can be sitting in a chair, you can just be relaxing, closing your eyes, and just become aware of your own breathing. So important. It's like connecting back to yourself, because as a therapist we give ourselves to almost everybody with our client work. Well, do we save anything for ourselves? So when you practice mindfulness, it's getting that part of you back to yourself. And I've got a gift for you, so stick around and I'll tell you what that is. Number 9, this is a very practical one, and it's to make sure that you've got your food sorted out, whether you're working in a private practice, whether you're volunteering, whether you're working online from home. Make sure you've got your food sorted out. So during them breaks in between one client and the other, you're not raiding the biscuit tin. I've been guilty of that one. Right. So have your food mapped out of what you're going to do. Make sure you include fruit. Make sure you include water. Keep yourself dehydrated. And just give yourself that goodness throughout the day, as opposed to, I've only got a few minutes. I've only got enough time for a quick toilet break and maybe a chocolate biscuit. Again, guilty of that one. So that's the tip for that one. Keep yourself fed and watered with good stuff. Number 10, have a regular check-in with yourself. And I would say every day, I would say this is a must. You are so important, because if you, like I mentioned before, if you fall down, you can't help your clients. So have these regular check-ins with yourself. And if you find that you're doing something and it's not working for you, change it. Don't keep on doing it. So that might be, you're working too hard, you're working too long, you're not having days off, you're not eating properly. You start making these minor adjustments in your life so you have a better quality of life. Okay? So please, please, please do the regular check-in with yourself. And if changes need to be made, change them. If you can, do something just for you once a month that you wouldn't normally do. So that might be going to a place that you haven't been to before, having a day out. It doesn't have to cost you money. It can be anything. It can be going, maybe not this time of year, but going to the park for a picnic, going out in the countryside for a walk, just doing something, going to the cinema, going to see a film. If you like beauty parlours and massages, that kind of thing, just do something just for you that's out of your normal routine. So that way, if you do that, you've got 12 things to look forward to in the upcoming year. Because at the time of this, it's December 2023. So if you get your ducks in a row over this, you've got 12 new things that you're going to do, one a month, and that might be something to look forward to. It might even be a little bit scary and put you out of your comfort zone, but try that one out. And with it being December, and I did say there was a little bonus thing, in the description below will be a guided meditation that I recorded some time ago for my other YouTube channel. That channel's for more the layperson, where this is just for therapists or student therapists or those in the wellbeing space. That guided meditation that'll be in the description below is all around boundary setting. It's only 12.5 minutes, so you don't even have to do any thinking. You just sit down, give yourself some time, close your eyes, and just let my voice just lead you through it. Now everyone's got 12.5 minutes, but I would say don't listen to it once, listen to it often. I recommend when I send this to clients that they listen to it twice a day. I recommend first thing in the morning and last thing at night, because every time you listen to something like this again and again and again, you don't start from it from a blank canvas. Because it's on boundary setting, the meditation is on, you get the foundations in to set new boundaries, and then the next time you listen to it, you build further boundaries that are either higher or longer or wider, and you start to cover them in all the different areas of your life. All right, so that's my little Christmas gift from me to you. I do hope you enjoy it. Now, as the theme of this is a bit of self-care, this is going to be the last video I make in 2023. So I've got loads of ideas of things that I want to do for yourselves in 2024. If there's something that you'd like me to cover in 2024, let me know in the comments below. Please remember to do the like, the share and the subscribe and all that stuff. And there'll be a few other things in the description below that may be of interest to you. But for the time being, my very best wishes to you and yours for Christmas and the upcoming year. And this is James from Therapy Business School. Bye bye.